Do you know how beautiful you are? I think not, my dear. For as you talk of God, I see great parades with wildly colourful bands streaming from your mind and heart, carrying wonderful and secret messages to every corner of this world. I see saints bowing in the mountains hundreds of miles away to the wonder of sounds that break into light from your most common words. Speak to me of your mother, your cousins and your friends. Tell me of the squirrels and the birds you know. Awaken your legion of nightingales and let them soar wild and free in the sky and begin to sing of God. Let's all begin to sing to God. Do you know how beautiful you are? It's a beautiful, beautiful poem that I love by Hafiz. And you know, I used to think that life's beauty just lay in these extraordinary moments, you know, that always constant that you have to be doing something incredible with your life, with your day. You always have to be on the move and showing and proving something that you're worthy of something. And you know, lately I've really realised that life happens in these ordinary, you know, these sacred moments that I've spoke about in the last few videos. And it really is the simple things that are really important to us. You know, hanging out the washing, being with your bare feet in the earth, taking a nice long deep breath and knowing that you're fully alive, you know, feeling it in this moment. And I know for sure, and I'm sure you're the same, but we rush through these moments, don't we? We focus on what we need to fix or where we need to go or who we think we're supposed to be or should be. But what if we actually just stopped? You know, what if we just stopped it all? What if instead of trying to change ourselves, we simply let ourselves be? Can you imagine simply letting yourself be? I think Jon Kabat-Zinn said it best. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And perhaps learning to surf begins with loving where we are, exactly as we are. And you know, every day without stop, the familiar thoughts always creep in. You know, the familiar thoughts of, oh my goodness, you're not enough, and your kitchen's a disaster, and who would want to see this, and oh my goodness, I could do better. And it's a story that I've been telling myself for so long, for years, you know, this story of not being good enough, and not until I've worked out at the gym for 25 hours or I've done this and the next thing will I be enough. But you know, of lately I've been really working on this pause and just knowing when these thoughts come and just taking a deep breath and acknowledging these thoughts. And I remember something else that Jon Kabat-Zinn wrote as well. Until you stop breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you. And really feeling into those words. And they reminded me that self-acceptance isn't about fixing what's wrong. And we live in that culture that's constantly trying to fix us and changes, right? And I think it's about seeing, maybe not so much what's right, but just really loving your whole self, loving your whole being exactly as you are, right even in the middle of the mess. So this has been a journey of the beauty in the ordinary, the simple things. And for me as well, recently also been able to feel that home is a safe place. And that home, you know, it's there within. And that belonging that we seek is within. It's already here. We just have to turn our attention to it. And I don't feel that life is waiting for me to change or become this miraculous, self-helped self. Life is already here, and it's asking me to see it. It's asking me to turn my attention towards it. And there's something so sacred about these simple acts. Cooking a meal, washing the dishes. And sometimes we overlook these moments because they seem too small to matter. Simple thing like lighting a candle. Try it. If you haven't done so today, light yourself a candle. It's such an incredible moment to behold. And I've definitely recently as well started to see that all these tasks are like invitations. They're invitations to slow down, invitations to breathe and to be right here. And it's in these moments that I feel something shift. And it's not about achieving or proving anything or striving. And it's about resting in the truth that I am already enough. And I think that's, you know, the journey that I've been on with there was a video a few months back about leaving my old life behind. And as I've been working through these videos, this is what I'm coming to realise what that meant. You know, I don't have to be out there in a world of performance and, you know, this idea of being worthy enough only if I was doing all this stuff, and actually in the letting all that go and allowing myself to arrive exactly where I am. It's been incredible actually. And thank you for all your support along the way. Another thing John Kabat-Zinn said as well, when we stop trying to force life to be the other than what it is, we may find that life is infinitely richer than we had imagined. And oh my goodness, that also really struck a chord with me. And remembering, you know, that maybe it's not about, you know, we know that it's not about doing more. It's about being here fully alive in the ordinary miracles around us. My goodness, I know loving ourselves as we are isn't easy, and it's so tempting to believe the voices that say that we need to change, that we need to strive, that we need to be different. But I've found that meeting those voices with kindness, just being aware of them, just holding the space for them, rather than a resistance, rather than trying to fight them, or rather than wishing they weren't even here. Meeting them with kindness has been a gift. So when the doubt comes, I've just been asking myself, what if this moment's enough? And what if I'm already enough? And in that asking, I find like a kind of freedom. You know, there's a real freedom, and I can really experience life. Because here is the truth: you don't need to fix yourself to be worthy of love, and you don't need to be perfect to live a beautiful life. The sacredness of this moment, this exact moment, doesn't depend on you being anything other than who you are. anything other than who you already are. So today I invite you just to pause and to let the ordinary moments remind you of what's already true, that you are whole and that you are worthy and that you are enough. And maybe the most precious thing we can do is let ourselves be. You know, to let the light in our lives, the soft, ordinary light, show us that we are already home. So take in a deep breath, let it remind you that you're alive, and let it remind you that you are here, and let that be enough. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.